Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something pretty fascinating. Driverless cars, instant delivery, and how all that tech is hitting the church.
Yeah, it's a big question. How does this change what people, expect from ministry leaders, from the church experience itself?
Exactly. We're digging into David Swisher's work here, specifically Chapter 5 on Demand and Driverless. It's from his book, Early Warning, published by Invite Press.
Right. Swisher really tackles how this whole on-demand world, this disruptive change, is pushing up against traditional ministry, logistics, engagement, even theology.
So our mission today is to unpack that. How does this tech reshape everything from getting people to church to how we connect to, the deeper questions about community in this, super connected age?
From Waymo to worship, basically.
Okay, so let's start with the tech itself. We all kind of lived through phase one, right? Cloud, streaming, Netflix, basically changing everything, SaaS models.
Absolutely. Software as a service. That shift was huge. It moved us from owning things, CDs, software boxes, to just accessing them. Instant, personalized.
Like flipping a switch.
Pretty much. And Swisher's point is that this expectation, it's bleeding into the physical world now, the next wave. That's this distributed delivery, autonomous transport.
And it's not some far-off future thing. I mean, Tesla's We Robot event in October 2024, that was pretty splashy.
Yeah, the Cybercab 2 seats, no steering wheel, purely for ride sharing. And that bigger robo-van, too, for 20 passengers.
Big vision stuff, but who's actually, doing it on the streets now?
Well, that's really Waymo. Google's spinoff. They're not just talking concepts. They're logging serious miles. Over 25 million actual driverless miles.
Wow.
Yeah. And they have commercial ride-hailing Waymo One running in Phoenix, San Francisco, L.A.
I thought that bit in the book was interesting, Swisher's own experience riding in one.
Oh, yeah. He said it was incredibly smooth, felt really safe, even in complex traffic. That kind of firsthand report, that changes minds. Makes it feel real.
Definitely accelerates expectations, right?
It does. And it's not just cars. Think smaller, too. Delivery robots. Starship Technologies, they've got bots on, 56 college campuses now?
Delivering food, that kind of thing.
Food, groceries, yeah. No human driver involved. Just rolls up to your door.
And then there are the drones. Amazon, Walmart, Domino's even.
Right. They're all testing, rolling out drone delivery. Walmart's talking about covering most of Dallas-Fort Worth soon.
So science fiction is basically becoming logistics.
Pretty much. Delivering anything, anywhere, almost frictionlessly. I mean, regulations are still catching up, but the tech is here.
Okay, so that's the tech landscape. Super convenient, instant access. How does that crash into the typical church experience?
Well, that's the core issue Swisher raises. We as consumers are now wired for instant access, personalization, convenience in, everything, banking, shopping, entertainment.
From Blockbuster to Netflix, basically.
Exactly. You don't own the tape, you access the library. That expectation now bumps up against church, which, for many, is still very much about showing up at a specific place at a specific time.
Feels analog, almost out of sync.
Yeah, and Swisher argues this convenience gap makes the church seem, behind the times, maybe even irrelevant to some.
What are some basic examples he gives, beyond just, online giving versus the plate?
Well, those are still relevant, right?
Yeah.
Expecting tithes only on Sunday in a basket. Or handing out devotionals only in person instead of pushing them to an app or an easy email sign-up.
Stuff that requires you to be there physically.
Exactly. But it goes deeper. Think about the organizational friction. How easy is it really to interact with the ministry outside of Sunday morning?
Okay, like what?
Like scheduling time with a pastor. Is it easy? Click a link, see availability, book it? Or is it, phone tag trying to catch someone during office hours? That's friction.
Right, that makes sense. A real barrier. What about internally? For staff and volunteers?
Huge implications there, too. If everyone's time is eaten up by physical logistics, printing bulletins, coordinating rides manually, chasing down sign-up sheets from a table in the back.
They're spending energy on the delivery method, not the ministry itself.
Precisely. Swisher really challenges leaders. Why is it often easier to order something complex online from overseas than it is to sign up for a small group or volunteer for a local church event? That gap in scheduling, communication, just basic interaction, that's the disconnect.
So facing this huge shift, it helps to look back, right?
Right.
Find some historical parallels. Swisher brings up Martin Luther.
Yeah, Luther and the printing press. It's a really powerful analogy for navigating disruptive tech.
Because the printing press was kind of the autonomous vehicle of its day.
In a way, yeah. It allowed for rapid, cheap reproduction of text. Suddenly, ideas weren't just controlled by the clergy who had the handwritten manuscripts. It decentralized everything.
And Luther saw the potential immediately.
Totally. He used it strategically. Distributed his 95 Theses, other writings, way beyond the usual channels. It was distributed ministry, powered by new tech.
And he was smart about the content too, wasn't he?
Very. He wrote in German, the common language, not academic Latin. And he used short pamphlets like bite-sized content for the masses. You can definitely see the parallel to digital content today.
That's interesting. What about who you worked with, the printers themselves?
That's a key point Swisher makes. Luther partnered with secular printers. Their main motivation was profit, not necessarily spreading Luther's theology.
Ah, okay. So the lesson for today is...
Ministries might need to partner with companies like Waymo or Amazon or platform providers, knowing their goals are commercial. You have to navigate that relationship strategically.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing for Luther, right? He lost some control.
Oh, absolutely. The book mentions he really struggled with that. Unauthorized reprints, people twisting his ideas. It sounds a lot like trying to maintain message integrity online today, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely, once it's out there.
So if we take that Luther mindset, use the tech strategically, what does that actually look like for churches today with driverless cars and drones?
Let's talk practical applications. Accessibility seems like a huge one.
For sure. Imagine partnering with Waymo or similar services, offering reliable, safe rides for elderly members, people with disabilities, maybe families who struggle with transportation, getting them to services, events.
That could genuinely remove a major barrier for some people.
Absolutely. And then there's the delivery side, using drones or those little sidewalk robots.
For what, delivering sermon notes?
Could be. Or weekly devotionals, maybe communion elements for shut-ins, even personalized care packages for someone who's sick, bringing the ministry tangibly to their doorstep.
That's interesting. Beyond just the regular congregation, too.
Yeah, think about outreach or disaster relief. Drones delivering emergency supplies, food, water, medicine into areas vehicles can't reach. Or even delivering Bibles or study materials to remote mission fields. It just expands the reach dramatically.
Okay, that all sounds incredibly efficient and potentially very helpful. But here's the tension, right?
The big one.
Our faith is fundamentally about presence. The incarnation, God with us, embodied. And Hebrews tells us not to give up meeting together. How do we square all this convenience with, well, actual physical community?
That is the absolute core question. Does making everything accessible remotely risk encouraging isolation? Are we just feeding a consumer mindset about faith?
Swisher uses that vignette, Pastor Sandra's journey, to explore this.
Yeah. Her church uses the tech autonomous transport on-demand content. It's efficient, reaches more people. But she's wrestling with it. Is this real community, or are we just making it easier for people to stay separate? Are we losing the personal touch?
It's a valid concern. If a drone dropping off communion elements replaces a visit from a deacon or pastor,
then something crucial is lost, definitely. But the argument Swisher seems to lean towards isn't replacement, it's augmentation.
Meaning
you automate the logistics, the driving, the scheduling, the basic info delivery to free up human time and energy.
Ah, so the tech handles the transport, freeing up Pastor Sandra to actually spend more quality time visiting, counseling, praying with people.
Exactly. It's using convenience as a force multiplier for relational ministry, not a substitute for it. The drone delivery is convenient, sure, but it should enable, not eliminate, the follow-up call or the personal visit. That's where the real ministry happens.
That reframes it quite a bit. But okay, let's talk risks. What happens if we lean too hard on this tech?
Well, dependence is a big one. What if your whole Sunday attendance relies on a third-party autonomous shuttle service and their network goes down, or the company folds?
Right. Vulnerability. Increased costs, maybe, for maintenance, subscriptions.
Yep. And then there's data, privacy and security.
Ooh, yeah. Churches handle incredibly sensitive stuff, spiritual struggles, financial giving, health issues.
If you're integrating all this digital booking, transport tracking, delivery logs, you absolutely have to nail security and data privacy, especially now. A breach could be devastating pastorally and reputationally.
Thinking about a network outage stopping essential deliveries, or just that potential creep towards less personal interaction, it definitely gives you pause.
Yeah, and I think the main takeaway from David Swisher here in Early Warning isn't fear the tech. It's more like be incredibly thoughtful and strategic. Leaders need to constantly ask, how can this specific tool, Waymo, drones, whatever, actually serve our mission ethically, effectively?
The mission itself doesn't change, right? Proclaiming the gospel, making disciples. But the methods, wow, they're shifting fast.
And the goal has to be ensuring the tech serves the mission, creates that efficiency you mentioned, so that humans can do the human part better. More presence, more relationship.
So leading wisely means what? Assessing, talking about it theologically, maybe trying some small experiments.
Definitely. Assessing the context, having those deep discussions, and maybe partnering with some early adopters in the community to pilot things. See what works, what doesn't for your specific ministry.
And this is just one piece of a bigger puzzle, of course. This whole deep dive series is building towards something. We'll be tying these threads together, adaptive leadership, McLuhan's ideas, in our final installment.
Right. It's all about equipping leaders to navigate this changing landscape, not just reactively, but with real wisdom and foresight.
Well, until next time, maybe something to think about is, where are you expecting ultimate convenience in your own life, and where do you need to intentionally carve out space for that irreplaceable person-to-person connection?